All right, Maximus Analysis here for March 14th, 2016, and we see we had a little gap down going into the into the open from Sunday night, and very indecision day going on. Slight doji again for the ES. Again, we're going to continue talking about our numbers of 1965 to be holding all week, and if they go and break above 220 and come back and test basically this 200-day moving average and make a higher bottom or a pivot at that level, we'll see them, get up to start fighting against these previous levels here of 2040 and 2060. Again, let's keep in mind that we want to just make sure that certain levels are holding and go from there, because right now we're kind of overextended, but again, they have been very tidy in regards to how they've been making these pullbacks, which we've discussed even all the way back here. You can check on the videos, everything's time-stamped, and just see what happens from there. The NQ, excuse me, NQ is pretty much the same thing. We want to hold this 42.35 level. Anything over 44.14 with high volume is definitely a good area, and then of course they would come into this band of resistance that we have right here. Again, it was support and then broke down, and now they're getting close to it, but they've not even touched the 200-day moving averages yet. So we'll continue to look at these names. The YM, excuse me, just needs to hold this 16,750 area again all week. We're looking at the weekly candles as well, just to make sure we're not blinded by anything. Crude, again, you have a slight sell signal breaking Friday's low today. They need to just hold this 34.71 if there is some type of pullback, and that would layer them here against these previous highs right here, thereabouts. And again, they could see that and pop above, giving them some type of support as previous highs. They need to break above 40 with some type of volume, and again, the target on that, if it breaks to the upside, would be around the 44.40 target. Again, want to see if they're going to hold this little area right here, being of how bipolar it's been, being that you had up day, down day, up day, and then just not that much going on, then a pullback into the body of this these three-day cluster of action. So we'll continue to watch that. Let's look at Baidu. Again, Baidu needs to hold the 1976 area if this is some type of retracement coming in, and that's going to put us probably in the middle of this sideways consolidation. Break of 1970, and we could see some type of gap fill going on. And then we're just going to have to really look at it here, because again, it's gone up, but you can see they're right probably smack in the middle of this previous down move. So you have to kind of look at it, and again, just because it has a shooting star pattern, these candlesticks get negated very quickly, because a lot of people recognize these, and there's a lot of stops above that. So again, you want to see at least a break of a low and some continuation and getting down to that 1976 area, and get following through, versus you just see this and you go short and they gap it up, and a lot of stops over here naturally, because it's just such a commonly viewed candlestick pattern. Amazon this week, you want to see them I actually want to show people that they need to hold certain levels based on the weekly time frame. And the weekly, we want to see them hold these lows of basically 550, and see what it does going into, if it even gets as high as the 588 area. Want to see what it does going into next week. So this week's volume, I really want to see what happens, because again, you have this little band of resistance here that it's just layering into. Again, broke down back below. So again, we want to really see how much volume they have going into this. Now, if they break above these highs, we really just want to see how they look with the volume of this week. So this week is kind of critical for Amazon. And let's look at Facebook. Again, Facebook that has 110.90 resistance. And then, again, if we run up, this has been a pretty significant weekly run up. You have about 6 weeks moving up in a row. So they just need to hold this, I would say this 105 area needs to be held if they're going to break back down. Of course, not getting back below this 104 area, 104.40 area. Next name we're going to look at is Netflix, and it needs to just regain this $100 level and stay above 94 pretty much all this week, and we'll just continue to look and see how this one plays out. And last but not least is Tesla. And Tesla's continuing to move up and just needs to stay above this 203, 204 area. And if it stays above that and really ramps up, it does have potential to get to 223 around thereof. Okay, around that area, I would say, okay, you could be, if you're long already, pull profits. Again, if you're looking to go long, I would stay more in an intraday time frame just because of how hairy things are. Just to remember, just to throw another thing in there, just be a little cautious initiating things on Wednesday morning because there's FOMC, and it's not because of the FOMC, but it's more of the spreads and how things can be choppy going into that. So even if there is the FOMC notes, and again, this is something that's going to happen all the time, but especially for intraday time frames, which I've been suggesting for a couple of weeks now, if not months, you kind of want to wait because, again, the option spreads get really bad, and also the spreads on the futures, meaning that if you're in a contract going into that, they can kind of, especially on the smaller time frames, 5-minute, 15-minute, they kind of clean out a lot of the obvious areas, and also they can clean it out even if it's not obvious on your entry, because the spread widens and sometimes it catches your entry before the physical contract actually gets to that area. So that's just a word of advice in regards to trading stuff Wednesday, because we've been talking about the aggressive time frame so frequently. I just want to, again, I put that out a couple times, but especially now that a lot of people are going long based on smaller time frames, that Wednesday morning might not be the best thing. You could just say, okay, I'm gonna apply a little patience and maybe look at the latter part, and don't look at just the initial run up or run down. Kind of let it settle out for like 45 minutes, and if that means you don't get a trade till Thursday, so be it. Don't force things because you have to get a trade. That's the best recipe of chasing, because you see it go up and then all of a sudden, if you witness any FOMC stuff on intraday time frame, it could be very, very, very difficult to gauge what side of the plate they're going to go with or against. So that's just my word of advice here. And I think on the ES, we're at 209 right now. So again, this is just a small inside day, a break above this high with a stop below this low. It means that they just have more upside potential. So just treat it as such. Use the intraday aggressive time frames to get your entry, to just mitigate risk. Take care.